afternoon. I'm Councilman Ari Kagan, proudly representing beautiful communities of Southern Brooklyn in 47th Council District. I would like to share with you some news from New York City Council. First news I would like to share is what happened with municipal retirees and their health care. As you know, for several months there was a huge battle about changing or not changing administrative code. So administration and municipal labor council wanted to force municipal retirees into Medicare Advantage program, which definitely would be detrimental to the quality of their health care, cost of their health care, authorizations, prescriptions, choice of doctors, and so on. From the very beginning, myself and my Republican colleagues and several Democratic colleagues, we have been fighting against this proposal because we believed that municipal retirees, including retired firefighters, police officers, EMT, teachers, and many others, worked for several decades, and they were promised that they will have good retirement benefits, meaning pension benefits and affordable health care. And now we have to break this promise and tell them, well, New York City was just joking, so pay much more, have less doctors, pay more for medicine. So I was totally against it, participating in many rallies and petitions, and I spoke at the floor of the City Council against this proposal, and I'm very proud to report that New York City Council Speaker decided to take off this bill from our schedule, so it's not going to be voted on this issue in New York City Council, and now administration and Municipal Labor Council have to come up with a different idea to find other savings in city budget, to find a way to continue paying for municipal retirees health care as it was promised for many, many years. So we won this battle, and I'm very, very happy about this, and I'm not alone. We just talked to one of our constituents who is very happy that his health care will not be affected, and he will continue to enjoy benefits he deserves for working for more than 30 years for New York City. That's the first good news. Second, I would like to say that we just had a vote on another piece of legislation that unfortunately passed. I was strongly against it because it affects small businesses, especially restaurants, cafes, sushi bars, all food establishments all over the city of New York. And the legislation demands from them to ask every single customer who is ordering food, takeout, delivery, to ask them, do you need a condiment, do you need a sauce, do you need napkins, do you need plastic forks, do you need to include this into your order? And if customer did not specifically request this, and they would include in their takeout order napkins or sauce or forks, they would be penalized. First violation is $50, second violation is $100, third violation is $250. And if we're talking about like 10 orders or 15 orders multiplied $250, we're talking about severely punishing small businesses, especially restaurants, cafe, sushi bars, all food establishments, punishing them just after the pandemic. They're just recovering from the pandemic, punishing them badly, supposedly in the name of saving the environment, because plastic is bad for the environment. And this is a way to punish small businesses. This is a way to force them. First of all, it's called micromanagement. It's very confusing. What if an employee in any restaurant doesn't know all of these details? What if customer didn't say something or change his or her mind? So how Department of Sanitation is going to check every takeout delivery to check whether napkins is there or not there, and whether it was ordered? Will be anonymous tips, will be anonymous calls to restaurants with take orders to check whether they include napkins or sauce. What an insanity. It's a confusion, it's a micromanagement, and it's a punishing small businesses all over the city of New York. We need to support our small businesses. We need to support restaurants, cafe, sushi bars, Thai restaurants, and so on. Not to dictate them what kind of sauce they have to put there, whether they should put napkins. And it's also very confusing, very confusing. So I voted against it. I spoke against it on the floor of City Council. I posted video on my social media against it. My Republican colleagues in City Council were in the minority, also voted against this proposal, but unfortunately it was passed anyway by Democratic majority. And now, when mayor will sign it, all food establishments in New York City will have a huge headache following up with this, in my opinion, absolutely wrong regulation that totally not needed. We need to cut taxes on small businesses. We need to help them. We need to promote them, not to dictate them how they run their businesses in every small details. That's why, in my opinion, it's a very wrong legislation. On another front, we recently had a Zoom meeting with our mayor, Eric Adams, and most of council members, not all, most council members had the chance to ask questions about upcoming city budget, which is due July 1st. Mind you, city budget is more than $100 billion a year. More than $100 billion a year. Yes, New York City is large and big, but budget is also huge. It's like budget of several countries around the globe combined, several countries. But my point is, there were many questions from council members. And I was waiting and waiting. First of all, I was not given a chance to ask a question. Because, as you can see, I'm very vocal about what's going on in New York City. But also, I was waiting for a very simple question. What part of the budget, how much money are we allocating to New York City Police Department? How much money are we allocating for the purpose of public safety? How much money are we allocating for youth services to make sure that our young folks are not going, hanging around on streets doing nothing, and they are busy with, productive activities, sports, work on computers, employment training, arts, culture, dance, music, you name it. Guess what? I'm still waiting for this question. This question was not asked. Nobody asked a single question about public safety because it looks like it's not a priority today. Isn't? In my opinion, it's a number one priority today. People are talking about public safety every single day. In subway, on the street, in their homes. Another bill that is still on a schedule for New York City Council. It was a public hearing about this bill. I also testified against this bill. I participated in a rally against this bill together with my Republican colleagues. And this bill is about banning criminal background checks on all prospective tenants. Meaning, you would never know whether the murderer, rapist, person who committed various assaults, robberies, has extensive criminal record dealing with drugs, etc., will be your neighbor. Nobody will know about it because the bill basically prohibiting checking criminal background. And we were told, listen, there is a discrimination going on against people who are formerly incarcerated. They have difficulty to find housing. And I said at hearings, I spoke at a rally, I'm totally for giving a second chance. I'm definitely for giving people a second chance. And I'm definitely supporting all kinds of programs for formerly incarcerated individuals. I secured funding from New York City Council for programs that help formerly incarcerated individuals. But in order to even know whether murderer again and rapist and everybody who committed serious violent crimes repeatedly, I'm talking about recidivists. I'm not talking about someone mentioned at public hearing, oh, you are against people who stole pack of candy 10 years ago. That's absurd. If you wanted to just specify in the bill what kind of crimes should be overlooked, that's okay with me. If someone will say, don't discriminate against people who had clean criminal record for the last year or two. Don't discriminate against people who committed very minor crimes, misdemeanors. Don't discriminate against people, like this guy said to me, what about someone who stole 10 years ago pack of candy? That's not what we are talking about. And I asked him, what if person committed violent crimes 3 times in a row? Committed violent crime, was jailed, then served his time or her time, then committed again violent crime, served another term, and then committed 3rd time violent crime. Would you want this person not to be checked? Do you want this person, nobody to check criminal background of this person? The response was, we do not differentiate, he said. All of us are humans. Yes, we are all humans. By the way, crime victims are also humans. Tenants in New York City are also humans. And they deserve to know who is living in an apartment next to them. I want you to know that it's not just landlords or co-op boards or managements who are against this proposal, but most of tenant associations are against this proposal as well. Guess who is exempt from this legislation? Ready? New York City Housing Authority. Because it's regulated by federal government, they will continue to check criminal background of all applicants who are applying to live in New York City Housing Authority buildings. Meaning, if you live in public housing, you have to check your criminal background before you getting there. But if you're applying to live in a building, like a rent stabilization building in a co-op, we don't need to ask any questions. No questions asked. It's completely wrong. I'm totally against it. I testified against it. I spoke at public hearing at rallies. And myself and my colleagues at the Republican Conference will continue to fight against this wrong-headed proposal. Because now on top of crime on subway, now on top of crime in businesses, now on top of crime on streets, some of my colleagues basically wanted to bring crime inside our apartments, inside our homes, where we live, on top of this. It's completely wrong, and we will continue to fight it. It was very, very heated debate on the floor of the city council during the hearing. Guess what? 31 council members, every single one of them out of 31 Democrat, 31 Democratic council members. And the bill is sponsored, major sponsor is a Democratic majority leader, Kit Powers. They're still pushing for this bill. And we are pushing for modifications, for amendments. Again, it should be definitely amended to specify some crimes that should not be overlooked, especially violent crimes. And guess what? After all this talk, that this is discrimination, that we should not check criminal background, one of the people who came to testify for this bill from the organization Vocal New York, the guy spewed hate during all his speech. He insulted Asian Americans. He made a very racist remarks during this hearing. And he said that, someone wanted to check my criminal background. Later on, everybody learned that the guy is a sexual offender who raped 12 years old girl and who spent time in jail for that. And he was upset that someone wanted to check his criminal background. Of course we need to check criminal background of people like this. Of course. Because we wanted to know who lives next to us. It's normal. And it's safety issue. Pure safety issue. So right now this bill is also on the background. Also slowing down. Because of the strong opposition by many communities, by many tenant associations, and by several council members, including very truly yours. I hope that this bill will never see a light, or if it will be voted on the floor of the city council, it will be heavily, I emphasize, heavily amended. We need to amend this bill big time. So, second chance, yes. Housing discrimination, no. But blindly banning, prohibiting any criminal background checks, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Should be changes in this legislation. So now, I also would like you to know that public safety continues to be my number one priority. It's not just securing funds from New York City Council to community groups, anti-violence groups, youth groups, but also speaking out, talking about police officers. Some of them are attacked on the line of duty. There is a talk again that we need to seriously cut budget for the police department. There is again talk that we don't need too many police officers. It's already captains at police precincts saying that they need more police officers, not less. And I still remember last year the vote to deny enhanced pension benefits to police officers who served more than 25 years in police department. And after that, it was an exodus from police department by experienced police officers who said, like, what the point, yes, they wanted to serve the city. They served for 25 years. And we couldn't approve enhanced pension benefits for them. So I also would like to say that public safety is an issue in every neighborhood. In single-family areas, in New York City Housing Authority areas, in co-ops area. Just recently, I attended a tenant association meeting at Coney Island houses. Within last 4 weeks in Coney Island houses, which is on Surf Avenue in Coney Island, there were several attacks on women. And when I came down there, I invited New York City Housing Authority and Police Service Area 1, Police Department. Management was there. There were about 100 tenants. And guess what? Before I came 1 hour earlier to that meeting. And I went with my staff from the office. We visited every building in Coney Island houses. Guess what? Open door policy. Every door, entrance door, exit door, everything is opened. Everybody can go in and out. No protection, no safety, zero safety. You can go anywhere to do whatever you want. And we are talking about buildings where 3 women were assaulted within 1 month. An explanation by the management ready? Well, some tenants don't have keys, and we cannot allow them to stay on the street, so we decided to keep doors open. How do you like this explanation? I said at the meeting, if someone doesn't have a key, it's a problem. Let's close the door, I said. And if they cannot get in, they will go to management for a key. And then you will see whether the person even belongs to this apartment. And if person does belong to this apartment, you'll give them the key. What I also learned at this meeting, that this problem existed in Coney Island houses since last summer. For 6 months, Coney Island houses has open door policy. Anybody can come in and do whatever they want, create a havoc. It was also good that this meeting was in the evening. When NYCHA representatives, New York City Housing Authority representatives came, I called before the meeting. I said, you have to bring everybody, security person, vice president on securities, and also pest control. You know what pest control is? We're talking about rats, we're talking about rodents, we're talking about cockroaches. Guess what? While the guy was coming to the meeting, one rat jumped over his foot. That's why I want them to be not in the office in Manhattan. I want them to be on the ground to see these rats firsthand. He started to make pictures. I have tons of pictures. I don't want to post them because people are scared to see these pictures. But now they know that I was not joking. And the tenants are not joking. It's a serious issue. A rats infestation in Coney Island houses. So NYCHA now promising universe. They already sent pest control. They're promising to do everything possible to help residents to get rid of these rats. Unless you physically pushing and showing, nothing going on. And again, nobody should sit in the office in Manhattan or anywhere else for that matter. If they know the problem, they have to see what tenants see. They have to talk to parents. They have to look at their eyes. Now, after this meeting, it was a very, very heated discussion. Now they're promising vertical patrol from upper floor to the first floor. More pest control work in terms of rats. Finally closing the doors after 6 months. And B, having communication line with tenant association president. I also noticed there is a break in communication between NYCHA and police department about who is responsible for security cameras. Who should look at security cameras? How do they work? Where they should be located? I had to physically bring 2 people at that meeting, one from police, PSA 1, and another from NYCHA, vice president on security, and said, could you talk to each other? How does it work? Now they assured me everything is working. We'll check. I do not believe anybody on their word. It should be follow up every time. I learned long ago. If you do not follow up, it's not happening. So, and finally, I would like to say that I'm very proud and honored to represent this beautiful community, very diverse community. My office right here, and we have another office in Vorbas, is very diverse. We have a very diverse staff that speaks Urdu, Russian, Ukrainian, Georgian, Spanish, Chinese, Cantonese and Mandarin, and Italian. So our office is open to everyone. Our staff is very diverse, and it is a pleasure and honor to serve our great communities of Southern Brooklyn. Thank you very much, Councilman Ari Kagan.
Thank you. No, thank you for your support with the healthcare bill. Thank you. Thank you for your support with the healthcare.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
It was important. Listen, municipal retirees deserve it. Listen,
It's certainly important to all of us, and we appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so
Stay
much.
well.